So now that we're done with that, this science ship is not doing anything. And that's because we don't have automation on. I will say it's acceptable to put automation on the science ship now because there's nothing immediately pressing for us. If something comes up, we'll take it off automation and address that. But for now, let's go ahead and do... Hey, I just want to stop here real quick because I feel like I just skip over this in the video. So I want to address that when you're setting up the automation settings for a science ship, you want to make sure that you're just leaving the default settings for now because that's all you really need. Anything else like going over anomalies or archaeological sites, you don't need that because we can always come back to those later. And we also want to level up our scientists before we do anything with it. So I'm going to go ahead and unpause the video here and we can get back into it. Automation, boom. Let it do its thing and then we'll have this construction ship build a starbase outpost. So we could see that it's got this like purple number and then some alloys. What was that purple number? This purple number is influence. You can see the monthly gained on how much we're getting. And influence is just a political, it represents political clout. That's pretty much the short and sweet of it. You use it to claim systems as well as have trade or treaties or agreements with other civilizations. It will cost a monthly influence cost, but again, you don't have that much influence gained per month, so this is a pretty rare resource, so do keep that in mind. But we did get a pop-up that a new tradition is available. So which one do we want to go? We can only choose between these two. Do we want a survey speed that's faster, or do we want more research alternatives? In my opinion, I think having more survey speed is going to be key, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. So it looks like our colony ship is just about done. So when it is formed, it kind of just sits there. It kind of just operates there. But what I want to do is I want to send it over here because this thing is still building the starbase, but eventually the colony ship will be able to colonize that. But I also want to build another science ship, again, to just map out what's going on around us. I know it's going to take more unity, but I'm willing to pay the cost. So now that's done, let's go ahead and make sure that we pause for a second. You want to get into the habit of pausing because it's a benefit for us. We're playing PvE. We're going to play the game how we want to play it. We want to take a moment to see what's going on. We do have a mining station here, so let's go ahead and claim those energy credits. Not a lot. There's only 2, but we get the nice planet that's habitable. So let's go ahead and make sure we get that by right-clicking or clicking this and then colonize. But we do have that nice planet, so we want to click our colony ship and go here and then right click this and colonize planet. And we can just let it auto designate for now. We don't want to necessarily select something just yet because we don't know too much about what the planet's got. So we're going to go ahead and click colonize, and you can change the name if you want, but I'm going to leave that as is. And there we go. So we do have enough minerals to finally build something on this empire capital. So what do we want to build? Well, there's a few options. You know, we can, if we're lacking in alloys, which we kind of are a bit, but you know, we don't necessarily need them too much, we could build an alloy foundry. But we'd probably want to build it under the mixed industry, or if we wanted more consumer goods, we could build that too. But we'd probably want to build it here. This is something here that's limited to only 1, but it does produce more unity. So that is a pretty solid option to choose. So in my opinion, I would at least build the limited planet buildings because those are typically very strong. But in this case, I'm actually going to build a medical center because that has a planet limit of 1. But it also increases our population growth speed, and more population is better. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. And we are looking good there. Now we have a 3rd science ship. We got a lot of scientists now. That's pretty good, in my opinion. So we want to hire a new scientist. What do we got going on here? We're kind of limited to the scientists that we originally had. There's about 1.8 years left on this rotation, which, you know, these aren't the best, but I could see this one being beneficial if she were to retire to become a governor. But given that there's not much that would benefit us, even the one that we started with, you know, these aren't the best either. I'm going to go ahead and select this one just to kind of get it out of the way, and then go ahead and start some automated surveying. But now that we started the colonization from our colony ship, we get this pop-up. So we have these options because we have these choices. But which one do you think would be better? Do we want to have more energy credits and have xenophilia approved, promoted? Or do we want to have this promoted instead for 20 years? In my opinion, I think this one is probably going to be the better one, so I'm going to choose this one. So after a while, a lot of things are kind of just click and let it do its thing. There's sometimes a bit of waiting, but you know, at the beginning of the game, that's just how it is, and a lot of time people will put it to the faster time speed, and that's fine too. You know, if you feel like it's going a bit slow, just like, you know, there's some downtime right now, you can make it go faster. But especially at the beginning, when you're learning the game, you might be a bit overwhelmed. So check this out. I just found that there is a continental world up here, but it's a few systems away. So what does that mean? Well, if we want to get to that, we got to build. We can't immediately build a starbase here because one, it's not fully measured, but two, it wouldn't be connected immediately to one of these. So we want to colonize one of these or both of these if we wanted to, in order to gain access to this one. Technically, you can colonize this immediately. Once this is fully surveyed like this, you can. Well, this is actually right here. But we'll see once this is fully surveyed, you technically can build it, but the influence cost is about twice the amount because you're so far away from your borders. So building away from your borders, the farther you are away from your borders, the more influence costs it will take. So ideally, you just go one at a time. But let's go ahead and get our... I'm going to build over here because I think that we're pretty good on energy, but more research is good. So I'm actually going to build the starbase here so we can connect it to here. I'm going to go ahead and speed it up just because we got not too much going on right now. And it is slowing down. But what we could do, since we also know that we are going to colonize, we can start the colony ship like we did last time. So, and then we can make the colony ship go over there just to make it, again, just having it go faster. And now we have enough built up minerals to kind of make another decision. What do we want to build here? Just look through each one. Do you need more food? Do you want more amenities? You know, what's looking good to you? So right now, I think I'm actually going to go ahead and build this thing because it's also limited to planet 1, so that means it is very strong. I'm also going to build this right now because this is not fully surveyed. So once this is fully surveyed, then we can go over here and build that starbase. So hold shift, right click, so that way it is queued up. And look at that, we just got a new thing going on here. What should we choose? Well, we could choose this one to have research output more, or research stations output increased, which is always a solid thing. We can also choose this one. I think I'm going to choose this one right now, but this next one that's coming up is very important because read what it says there. Research alternatives +1, scientist capacity +1, and starting skill level +1. It's very strong. Why is it very strong? Because we're already maxed out on our scientists. Even if we wanted to build another science ship, we can't hire anyone else because we're already at our cap. So that is unfortunate for us. And same thing here for our technology. If we were to, select a new technology, we would now have a third or a fourth option available to us. That is a very nice thing to have. So look at that, perfect timing. Let's go ahead and build that starbase. And just in time, it looks like our colony ship is about ready. And we can go ahead and start sending it over there. Again, just speed tricks to make things go smoother and quicker for us. Originally, how you would do this is you would right click this planet and press colonize. But since we're speeding up the process by having it built already and having it travel there before we even have the starbase, that's just a little trick for you there. So it looks like we just got a first contact. Looks like we might have run into something. Press OK, and we can assign any one of these people. What's right here is an envoy. If you hover over each one, there's not really any stats or traits to be concerned about. It's really just a person that's going to talk to the civilization or try to figure out the civilization. And I'll just select the first person. There's not really a reason to select anyone else, but it's up to you. If you feel like there's something else going on there, you can select that. So let's go ahead and find that planet, press colonize, and we already have the colony ship. Looks like we are lacking a bit of the minerals, so we got to wait for that for a second. But let's go ahead and build all the mining stations. And you can see it had a cost of 400. It's because it's building all these at once. It's not like separating. We have our colony ship, but we don't have enough alloys. So how do we solve that? So I'm pausing it first because the whole point was trying to make this more quick. We can actually click this. We can click this, just depends on our market, but we can select an internal market and we can actually buy some stuff, and that's where the trade comes in. Remember how we talked about trade earlier? Originally, this actually used to cost energy credits, but now it's a separate resource. It's completely on its own, so we can spend our trade resource in order to buy these components. So that's pretty cool. So we only need, about 68. So I'm going to go ahead and click the 125 and spend that much. And anytime you buy more of this, it realizes that there's more demand for this, so the price goes up. So do keep that in mind. You can't just keep buying it and expecting the price to stay the same. So let's go ahead and go back to that, click colonize, and click this, and then press that. And leave the name however you want, but it is what it is. So there we go. It's looking pretty good. So now we got one planet coming up, and then another planet's about to get colonized. So we already got 2 planets that are getting colonized. We're in a really good spot. We do have another building slot available, so let's take a look to see, is there anything in here that piques our interest? Right now, nothing per se, but, and this is a big but, it doesn't necessarily mean we want to immediately fill it. Now, what we could do is we could build another alloy in civilian industry. And the reason why I say that is because these numbers are getting a bit low. I ideally like these to be, mid double digits. But since it is a bit low, let's go ahead and build the civilian industries one here. And then we can also build an alloy one, but we are lacking the minerals. So we're going to have to ignore that for now. And so this is about to be done, and once it's done, we can show what a new world looks like. So it looks like a new era happens, but sometimes you get breakthroughs, sometimes you get setbacks. It just happens. You could read what happens here, but it's not too crazy important. But it's just kind of like a little lore behind it. So let's go ahead and pause again. We got our new world. So we have kind of, if we looked at Earth, kind of similar thing going on, right? But on this one, it's very bare bones because it's like a new world. So what does that entail? Well, we can have a specialization for these two, and we could select it if we wanted to, but it will require a vast amount of minerals, which unfortunately we don't have right now. So for now, what we're going to do is once we get the minerals, we're going to choose the bare minimum stuff. I typically like to put down a hollow theater for some higher amenities. And then if we need, food or whatever, we could put a hydroponics farm. If we need more housing, we build more housing. But for now, we aren't going to do that just yet. So we're just going to leave that as is. If we wanted to build more housing, we could actually click the city district and build a city district. Or if we wanted to build more technician jobs, we could select this and build this. But again, we don't have the minerals for it. But that's also how you could fill in these slots here. You can't build the buildings here, but you could still build the districts and build the jobs and also give you an increased output. So that's really nice too. So this would produce more food if we needed the food. Something to keep in mind is that your resources aren't per world. It is your whole empire. So don't think that, oh, I need to have food on every single one. If you want to have a world that is specifically agriculture, like this one, this is an agri world. It got automatically assigned that way. That's fine. We have a planet deficit of -3, but our Earth is covering that deficit by having a +45. So it's not segmented away, it's holistic. So let's go ahead and pause it. And you can see here we have an open leader. So if we go here, there's only one leader. But here, what is this? So it looks like we can assign a leader here if we wanted to. The sector governor is also ironically the leader of Earth. But we also need a leader for this building itself. So right now this is the sector governor. We need a governor for the planet. So what we are going to do is we could assign someone that we already have. If we wanted to have a commander, we could. If you looked at it, the army that's stationed here would have an increased damage, and if this person were a counselor, then you'd get this stuff. But it's they're not really doing too much. So you kind of have to ask yourself if you want to leave them as a commander. You can, because if you took them off, then I believe they would get removed from the first fleet. So it looks like they're already doing something. So another good bet is to hire an official. And so an official you know, these are offering us increased leader, or sorry, yeah, these are offering us increased leader lifespans, which are always a positive thing. And their ethic is a xenophile, so if they were to rule over this planet, planet governor, you see the second one right there, 50% xenophile ethics attraction. For here, 50% egalitarian ethics attraction. So it's something, if you wanted those boons, you can. I'm not really seeing something that's piquing my interest, so I don't think I'm actually going to spend the upkeep and upfront cost of Unity just yet for that. So I'm going to go ahead and leave that alone. But let's go ahead and select this and get another ability to hire another leader. So now our scientists are 4. So if we wanted to, we could hire another, or we could produce another ship, which I think we will, because I have no problem with producing more Unity and getting another science ship to explore the area. Because before they had the limit caps, I used to have like 10 or 15 scientists roaming the whole galaxy, or the whole universe map. It was really cool. So this is just a little pop-up that says, hey, we found some exotic gases over here. You remember how we were talking about earlier? The strategic resources? That's exactly what this is. So potentially useful. So it looks like we found exotic gases over here, but we don't have the technology in order to extract it. You can see if we hover over it, exotic gas extraction from the engineering tab is needed in order to get this. So now that we have this, we did find an interesting archaeological site. So I do think I would want to claim this eventually, but right now my biggest concern is claiming systems that have a large amount of resources like energy credits, minerals, and physics research. So this is a solid one, especially since it's a choke point. So what I mean by that, if someone wanted to get to my base over here, they would have to go through this point in order to access it. So this is a very, very strong position to take right here. So I'm going to go ahead and take this because it would block them from going to this area. So it looks like we got another science ship. So let's go ahead and take a look at what is being offered. So this, right off the bat, I can already see that this is going to be a very strong contender. And the reason why is that this is going to be bad because an alloys keep of 5 when we're only producing 11 is going to suck. So let's pause real quick because that's actually something pretty intense. This is bad because this is five alloys is a lot. I mean, we're only producing 12 total if we round up. So for this one person to take 5 alloys, that's huge. Even though they have a survey speed of 35% bonus, or a bonus of 35% survey speed, it's not worth it. This, you have to make sure that you're looking at the traits that are being offered. Typically the bad ones, the red ones, are going to stick out like a sore thumb. So we're going to avoid this person. This one too we're going to avoid because same thing here, alloy upkeep, but the nice thing here too is that the upkeep is 10% less and a 50% less upfront cost. So while probably in the long run it might not be as bad, I mean it's only 10%, it's not as bad as this one. So what does that leave us with? This person. But this person is awesome because an archaeological skill of +1 means that this person is going to be able to succeed in archaeological sites much better than others. And that's very important because you only get one chance when you're digging up archaeological sites. And if you fail it, then you know you can't really do much. And you lost your opportunity. So for someone to have a bonus to that, it's huge. That's interesting. It looks like we must have misclicked because a colony ship is still here. I think I must have misclicked something. So what we're going to do is we're going to send, and you know what happens. What we're going to do is we're going to send this one back and we're going to have them enter the orbit of this system. So the next time a new habitable planet comes up, which, you know, might be this one, but I could already tell it's not, we could do that. But looks like we have another first contact going on, so let's go ahead and make sure we assign someone to that. There we go. But let's take a quick look at what happened here. It looks like we got a space dragon chasing us. So typically these things will roam areas, and hopefully it doesn't chase after our people to try and kill them. But hostile forces might do that, but most of the time they will just roam around and check things out. But it looks like this thing might be chasing us all the way down. Oh no, they stopped. So luckily these things did stop. When our scientists encounter a hostile force like that, they will immediately stop their automation. So make sure to reset them and to re-click them. So we have to do that. But I think that's where I will stop for now. We'll pick this up at a different time. But if this helped you, greatly appreciate a follow. We'll continue this file if there's enough interest in it, and we'll continue talking about what we do next and how we're going to expand and defend our colony as well, because eventually we're going to run into hostile things like that we have to take care of. So as always, I'll see you guys next time, and have a good one.